Hello, everybody. Okay, going to do a 45-minute class. We're going to do some flows, some vinyasa flows. Going to have some sun salutations in there. Going to do some dragon flows. Might be do some warrior flows. And then we'll do some longer yin type stretches towards the end. So we'll start with a nice, gentle warm up. Let's get our breath awareness going to start off with. It's going to be so important in the class to try to come back to the breath each time. If you find your mind is wandering, then dial it back into the breath and the sensations in your body. So find a comfortable seated position. You don't have to have your legs crossed. You can have your legs out in front, or you pick nice straight legs, whatever's comfortable, but lift up through the spine. Try to lift up through the crown of the head, opening up the ribs, allows for much more efficient breathing. So with a big breath in now, breathe into the belly to try to push the diaphragm down into the tummy. And then the chest rises. And then hold just for a moment. And then release. You can release through the mouth or through the nose or both. And then one more cleansing breath. As you breathe in, feel the clavicle rise as the chest, the lungs fill up, chest rises. Pause at the top. And then a slow release, softening through the shoulders. Okay, and you can actually, at the start of the class, you can stay with that breath, that type of process for as long as you want, just to get that connection of mind to breath to body. But we're going to go straight into some movement. So taking the hands out nice and wide, palms up. With a breath in, bring the hands up above the head, all the way as high as you can, and exhale down. Trying to get that synchronization of breath to movement. So breathing in, nice, slow, gliding all the way up to the top. Maybe the hands come together, maybe they don't, and come back down with the breath. And one more of these, nice and gentle, opening up the ribs, allowing for more efficient breathing, and down. Keeping that right hand down on the mat. Big breath in, come over to the side bend here towards the right. Breathe into the left lung to push the ribs open from the inside. And release. Come all the way to the other side. So left hand down, the right hand comes up, arms in line with the shoulders, breath in here. Breathing into that right lung. And release. Going to take a little twist to the right, take the left hand onto the right knee, right hand comes behind, lift up through the spine and rotate until you find some compression here. A couple of breaths here, pulling your tummy button in. And release. All the way around to the other side. Bring the right hand onto your left knee. Lift up through the crown of the head, so lengthening through the spine. Big breath in here, tops of the lungs. As you exhale, pull the tummy button in, find some more compression on this side. And release. Okay, we're going to come into an all fours position to start moving the spine. So shoulders on top of wrists, knees are hip width apart, knees are under the hips. Big breath in as you breathe into the tummy, drop the tummy down. You can see my lumbar spine dipping down now. Lift the head slightly, point the bum up. And with a breath out, round through the back here, drop the head between the shoulders, tuck the tailbone under and pull the tummy button in. So cat-cow, so breath in now, coming into cow pose, lift the head up slightly. And breath out, rounding through the back. This is all about spinal articulation, trying to get every single part of the spine moving with the breath again, and getting that synchronization of breath to movement. Feeling your way through your back. Spine is like a bicycle chain, and sometimes we get some stiff links because we sit down too much maybe, or we might be carrying an injury. There might be some muscle spasms going on. And this particular movement is really, really good for our spine, just to loosen off, lubricate through those stiff spinal segments. And release, and then rock your hips from side to side. Okay, walk the hands forward, keep the knees where they are. Take the hands as far forward as you can into this glorious cat stretch as you drop the armpits down towards the floor. Soften the neck here, let the head simply float or flop down towards the floor. It doesn't necessarily have to come onto the mat, but find that stretch in your upper back. Opening the fingers, pressing gently into the mat with the hands and taking the hips a little bit further back as you find that length through the spine. And release. Walk the hands backwards. So the hands are just in front of the shoulders. Straighten out the left leg. Rotate the left heel down. Find some stability here as you take the left hand up for a A twist here, and maybe take that left palm forwards and lengthen through the left hand. Find a nice stretch through the left side of the body. Thinking about your grounding through the outer edge of that left foot, and think about the fingertips. Maybe look up at that left hand if you've got the balance. Breathing nice and slowly here, nice and stable, finding that opening through the left side of the body. And come back down. Okay, we'll do the same on the other side. So straighten out through that right leg, tuck the right toes in, rotate that right heel down, get some stability here, and then turn your shoulders to the right, take the right hand up, maybe turn and look up. If you've got the balance here and the stability, take that palm to face forwards, come all the way forwards, maybe look up at that right hand and find the opening through the right side of the body. Anytime this is too challenging, some of these things, simply revert back to what you can achieve with the body you've got today. It's not a competition. It's all about finding our edge, finding our limit of range of movement in each of the postures, and then working with our own constraints. Come all the way back down. Rock the hips from side to side. And come into a downward dog. So tucking the toes in, lift the knees up. Hover here for a couple of breaths as you feel the stretch through the lower calves. Okay, just hovering here, keeping the knees quite steady. And then lift the hips upwards towards the ceiling as the legs straighten out, and then send the heels back down towards the floor. You'll then find that stretch through the backs of the legs, and we'll do a little bit of pedaling through the posture here. We bend one knee, push the opposite heel down to the mat. This allows any stickiness in the back of the tissues and the back of the legs, the tissues in the legs, just to ease off slightly. Coming up onto your toes. Push into the mat with the toes, really waking up the soles of the feet now and those toe knuckles. And then send both heels down. Look up between the hands. Inhale, come forwards into a plank position, leveling out the body, holding here. Breathing, still looking down at the floor between the hands. Big breath in here. As you exhale, come all the way back to a downward dog. Inhale the left leg nice and high into three-legged dog. Exhale, bring that leg down. Change over with the next inhale, right leg comes up, three-legged dog. And come back down. Next inhale, come forwards into plank, leveling out the body. And exhale, drop onto your knees, lower your chest down to the mat and the chin, tops of the feet on the mat. Inhale, lift the chest up and away from that, lifting up through the crown of the head into cobra. Exhale down, nice and slow with your breath. No rush. Inhale up into a tabletop position. Tucking the toes into the mat and exhaling as you lift the knees up, send the heels back down to the mat, find your downward dog. Inhale, the left leg nice and high, three-legged dog. Exhale, left knee comes towards left elbow. Inhale, lift up into three-legged dog. Thinking about form and exhale down. Your next inhale, the right leg comes up nice and high. And exhale, right knee to right elbow. Inhale, lift up, three-legged dog. Exhale, come back down. Look up between the hands. Inhale, through into plank. Come onto your knees if that's okay for you or better for you. And then drop onto knees, chest, chin. Tops of the feet on the mat. Inhale, up into cobra. Lifting up through the crown of the head. Exhale, come down. Nice and smooth, as I say, no rush. Inhale into tabletop, tuck the toes in. Exhale into downward dog. This time, look up between the hands, bend the knees, slowly walk to the top of the mat. Come to the top of the mat with feet hip width apart. Slowly, as you tuck your chin in, inhale up to mountain. As you come to an upright position, roll the shoulders back. Inhale the hands up above you. And exhale down. Inhale up. And then this time, softening the knees, exhale, slowly float the arms out to the side and down towards the mat to come down onto your ankles, your shins. Inhale, lift up the chest, look forward, straightening through the back and the legs into half forward bend. Exhale, keeping the legs straight. Take the head and the chest a little bit further down towards the mat for a straight leg forward bend. Bending the knees here. Slowly inhale as you walk back and bring the shoulders on top of the wrists into plank. And exhale, knees, chest, chin. Tops of the feet on the mat. Inhale, up into striking cobra, lifting up through the crown of the head. Maybe pushing into the mat with the hands, lift the pelvis off of the mat if you can. Exhale down. Inhale to tabletop, tucking the toes in. And when you're ready, exhale into downward dog. With the next inhale, lift the left leg nice and high. Bend in the knee when it comes as high as it can. Then take the knee out to the side as you rotate through the hip. Turn and look under your armpit, your right armpit, and circle that ankle, that left ankle. So look back at your left foot, going round and round one way and then the other way. Try not to compromise here, so pushing still into that right heel, grounding into the mat. Okay, bringing that left leg in line now. Slowly drop that left foot down. Pedal through the legs here. Inhale the right leg nice and high, bending the knee at the top, and then taking that knee out to the side. Still breathing nice and slowly in these postures where we're reasonably static. Circling that right ankle this time, maybe looking under the left armpit if you can see that ankle waving back at you, that foot waving back at you. And then bring that right knee down. Foot on the floor. Inhale through into plank. Exhale, knees, chest, chin. Inhale up into cobra, lifting up through the crown of the head. Exhale down. Inhale up into tabletop. Stepping the left foot forward between the hands. Okay. Tucking the right toes in, straightening out through the right leg. Inhale, turn the shoulders to the left. Take the left hand up. And exhale down. Keeping the hips nice and stable. Inhale, turning the shoulders to the right. Take the right hand up. And down. Okay, dropping the right knee down to the mat. Top of the right foot on the mat or tuck the toes in. Slowly come to an upright position, pulling your core in here. Inhale the hands up nice and high into crescent moon. Turn and look up if you've got the balance here. Exhale, lean into the lunge. So go a little bit further forwards with the hips, bending that left knee. Hold it here, finding that tension. Breathing nice and slowly. Okay, inhale, look up between the hands. As you exhale, turn the shoulders to the left, drop the left arm behind you, shoulder height, and the right arm in front. Inhale, turn and look up, turn to the front, look up. Exhale, turn to the right. So the right arm comes behind, shoulder height, left arm in front. Inhale, turn to the front, look up. Exhale, float the hands down either side of that left foot. Inhale as you lift the right knee off of the mat. Bring the hips up and backwards into pyramid. Exhale, come back down with the right knee. Dynamic movement. Inhale into pyramid, stretching out through that left hamstring. Exhale down. And this time, lift into pyramid, static posture, finding that tension in the left hamstring and hold it here, grounding through the left foot. Breathing nice and slowly, pushing into the right heel. Okay, bending that left knee, push into the mat with the hands, see if you can step, glide back to plank. Slowly lower down, knees, chest, chin. Tops of the feet on the mat, inhale up, lifting up into cobra, coming up a little bit higher, lifting through the crown of the head, dropping the shoulder blades back down the back. Exhale down. Inhale up into tabletop and step the right foot forward between the hands. Tucking the left toes in, lift up that left knee. Twists then. Inhale, turning the shoulders to the right. Take the right hand up. At the end of the inhale, slowly bring that right hand down. Keeping the hips nice and stable here. Inhale, turn the shoulders to the left. Take the left hand up. Good. And down. Drop down on that left knee. Top of the foot on the mat or tuck the toes in. Coming up to an upright position here. Pull your core in. Inhale the hands up. On the exhale, lean into this lunge. Get that left hip flexor really starting to stretch now. Couple of breaths here. Feeling the stability in your body. Okay, inhale, I'm going to rotate to the right. On an exhale, drop the left arm in front as the right arm comes behind, shoulder height. Inhale up Turn, look forwards. Exhale, turn to the left. Inhale up, look forwards. Exhale, float the hands down either side of that right foot. Tucking the left toes in. Inhale up into pyramid, straighten out through that right leg. Exhale, the left knee comes down. Dynamic movement with the breath. Inhale, coming into pyramid. And exhale. And one more. And this time we'll hold this static posture, finding the tension in the right hamstring. Ground it through the right foot, pushing back into the left heel. Feeling all of the feelings in the body here, but breathing nice and slowly. Okay, bending that knee. We're going to walk the hands a little bit further forwards and come up into a standing split as we straighten out through the right leg. Lift the left leg up about hip height. Okay, getting your balance here with your hands. Hold here. Maybe float the arms off of the mat. See how the balance is on this standing leg. Doesn't matter if it doesn't work for you. It really doesn't. It's just really exploring where we are with our yoga, where we are with our balance. Drop the hands down, drop the left foot down next to the right foot. When you're ready, going to come up into standing split on the left foot. So straighten out through that left leg, grounding down through the left foot. Right leg is up hip height. If you want to challenge your balance here, maybe float the arms, the fingertips off of the mat. See how you go this side. Bring the hands down. Slowly float that right foot all the way back now. Push into the mat with the hands as you bend the left knee. Step back into a downward dog. Okay. And then we're going to inhale through into an upward dog on our toes. So slow inhale, bring the shoulders forwards towards, so the shoulders on top of the wrists. Pull your tummy button in, engage your core, slowly lower down through the hips, lift up through the crown of the head. Upward dog on the toes. Exhale all the way back into downward dog, sending the heels down, head comes down, looking back at your ankles or your navel. Inhale, come forwards again, dynamic movement into upward dog on the toes. Nice and slow with the breath, lifting up through the crown of the head, dropping the hips down. Exhale, downward dog. And one more, all the way through. Really good core engagement. And really good extension through the spine here, lifting up through the crown of the head. Exhale, dog. Bending the knees, walking the hands backwards to the back of your mat. Keeping the feet about hip width apart. Come onto bent knees here. Slow inhale up into chair pose as you lift the arms up straight ahead, looking directly forwards here. Trying to get that balance so you're quite light on the balls of the feet. Breathing nice and steadily here. Good, and then slowly come all the way down to a bent knee forward bend. Walking the hands forwards to dog. Finding that position and taking a few breaths here. Okay, with a breath in now. I'm going to lift the left leg nice and high, three-legged dog. Come up onto the toes of the right foot. See if you can step that left foot forward between the hands. Okay. If not, take a couple of jumps or steps at it. Okay, when you're ready, inhaling, coming all the way up into high crescent lunge here. Taking a moment here to find your stability, find your balance. Keeping your focus straight ahead. Okay, inhale, on an exhale, bring the elbows down, shoulder height, palms facing forwards. Push the chest forwards on the inhale, look up. And inhale the hands up. Slow exhale as you sweep the hands behind you, leaning forwards over that left leg. Inhale up into crescent lunge. Exhale, take the right arm in front and the left hand behind and flex at the wrists, looking straight ahead. Inhale, both hands up. Exhale, left arm in front, right hand behind, flexing at the wrists. Inhale, hands up. Exhale, well down. Hands come down either side of that left foot. Push into the mat with the hands. Step back into downward dog. Pedal out the legs here. And then next inhale, come all the way through into plank. Exhale, knees, chest, chin. Tops of the feet on the mat. Inhale up into cobra. Maybe lifting the pelvis. Lift up through the crown of the head. And exhale down. Inhale up into tabletop. Tuck the toes in. Exhale into downward dog. Okay. Pedaling out the legs here. Steady in the breath. Okay, we're going to do that same sequence, but on the other side. Then we're going to inhale the right leg nice and high, come up to the toes of the left foot, find some space. Exhale, step the right foot forward between the hands. Okay, and when you're ready, inhale up into the high crescent lunge here. Finding your stability, finding your balance, finding your inner strength here. Cactus in the arms. Bring the elbows down, shoulder height, palms facing forwards. Inhale as you push the chest forwards, pull the elbows back, really active in your trapezius here. Maintaining this stability, holding here, a couple of breaths, feeling active in this posture, even pressure through both feet. And then inhale the hands up, keeping your focus head. Exhale, come forwards, leaning your body weight onto that leading leg now. Hands come behind, still bring the shoulder blades towards each other. Breathing nice and steadily. And then inhale the hands up. Okay, exhale, taking the left arm in front as the right arm comes behind, shoulder height, flex the wrists. Inhale the hands up, and then the right arm in front, the left hand behind, flex the wrists. Inhale the hands up. Next time, exhale into warrior two as you rotate that left heel down and then drop both arms down, shoulder height, palms facing down. Looking over the middle finger of your right hand. Breathing in, taking the arms wider apart, opening the chest here. Breathing out, dropping into the hips. Bending that right knee a little bit more. And then taking the left hand behind the back, take the right hand to place up. Inhale, come back into reclined warrior. Turn and look up at that right hand. Couple of breaths here in this static posture. And then slowly releasing into warrior. Inhale, turn in with the head, bring the hands up above you. Exhale, warrior two. And again, inhale, lift the arms up. Exhale, warrior two. Inhale here, exhale, we're going to windmill the arms down, turn both feet in line, hands come down either side of that right foot. Push back into a downward dog. Pedaling out the legs here. Inhale, come forwards into plank. Shoulders on top of wrists, nice and flat through the body. Exhale, knees, chest, chin. Tops of the feet on the mat. Inhale, lift forwards and up and into striking cobra. Lifting up through the crown of the head, maybe the pelvis off the mat. Exhale down. Inhale to tabletop. Tuck the toes in. Exhale into dog. Couple of breaths here to establish the posture.
Inhaling, lifting the left leg nice and high, coming up to the toes of the right foot. Exhaling, stepping through with that left foot. Maybe having a couple of attempts here. Okay. Rotating that right heel down. And then inhale as you windmill all the way up into Warrior 2 on this side. Okay, I'll turn around. And establish the posture. So inhaling, opening through the chest here as you reach the fingertips further apart from each other. Exhaling, dropping into the posture. Middle finger of the left hand is your focus. Keeping the breath nice and even and smooth. Taking the right hand around the back, maybe getting a little bind on the left thigh. Turn the left palm to face up. Inhale, come all the way back into Recline Warrior here. Turn and look up at that left hand. Breathing nice and slowly. And come back into Warrior 2. Find the form. Inhale, turn the head in, bring the hands up above you. Dynamic movement with the breath. Exhale, Warrior 2. Inhale, lift up. Exhale, release. One more time. Inhale, lift up. And release. Inhale, opening the arms, the chest, either or. Exhale, windmill all the way down. Turn both feet in line. Hands come down either side of that left foot. Come all the way back up into dog here. And then come all the way on an inhale to plank. Lifting one leg off of the mat if you want. And release. And then the other leg. Good. Release. Knees, chest, chin, everything on the mat now. Coming into locust. Taking the hands out nice and wide down the side of the body. Inhale, lift up into locust. Looking diagonally down or straight ahead, not straining in the neck, but feeling the work that's going on. And then release. Bring the hands down either side of the rib cage, drop the feet down. Push into the mat, counter pose in child, sit the hips back onto the heels. Couple of breaths here. And then come up to tabletop. Taking the knees out to the edges of the mat, join the big toes together, drop the tummy down. Inhale, turning the shoulders to the right, take the right hand up. Exhale, thread the needle, coming all the way through. Hold here for a couple of breaths. And then slowly coming all the way back. And drop the hand down. Next inhale, turn the shoulders to the left, take the left hand up. On an exhale, gliding through, thread the needle. Come into this posture, resting the side of the head on the mat, pushing into the mat with the right hand. Finding the twist. And slowly drawing the hand back. Okay, bring the knees again to hip distance apart with a breath in, coming into balancing cat, bringing the right arm up to the side of the head as the left foot comes up off of the mat, left leg off of the mat, about hip height. Exhale, knee to elbow. Inhale, lengthen, extend. Exhale, knee to elbow. And one more, and hold. And breathe. And release. Rounding through the hips here. So going circling the hips. One way and the other way. And then come back to a stable table. And with the next breath in, lift the left arm up to the side of the head as the right leg comes up about hip height. Exhale, knee to elbow. Inhale. and knee to elbow. And we'll hold this one. Looking down at the mat, breathing nice and slowly. And come back down. It's tabletop, crossing your ankles, rolling back into boat. So coming back behind the sit bones, lift the legs off of them. Finding some balance here. Taking the back nice and straight, but coming back. Holding. Breathing. Crossing the ankles, coming all the way into Sukhasana. And then planting the hands down just behind the hips. Lift up the hips and down. And again, lift the hips up. Try to get your core to lift the hips of the pelvis up even higher. Come back down. Okay, coming down onto your backs. Your knees into chest, massage the knees, the lower back by pulling the knees in and releasing. Dropping the feet down, hip width apart, head and shoulders on the mat. Breath in, lift the hips up into bridge. And breath out, come back down. And breath in, lift up into bridge. And breath out, down. And one more, lift up into bridge. As you find your bridge here, make sure your knees are parallel. So use your inner thighs to bring your knees to parallel. Tuck your tailbone in. So pull your navel, the part of the body just below the tummy button. Try to pull that into your spine. This will bring your tailbone up. This gives you inner strength in the lower back. And then use your glutes and your quads to really drive into this bridge posture. Great back bend. Still breathing here, looking at the movement of your tummy, your chest with each breath, but being active in this posture. Keeping that core engagement in your navel, slowly roll down the spine, vertebra by vertebra, as it comes all the way down. Bring the knees up. Okay. Grab hold of the legs, maybe back roll a little bit deeper here to come up to a seated position. Straightening out the legs here. Okay, a little bit of a sit bone walk here, just to find the presence of your sit bones, and then straighten out the legs as much as you can. If your hamstrings are tight, you're like this, that's okay. I'm going to come to a forward bend, so try to rotate the pelvis forwards, trying to keep the lower back quite flat. And then take the hands out in front of you, sit and reach, just see where you are, drop the hands down onto your legs. If you can, try to take the backs of the knees down towards the floor, keeping in mind we're rotating the pelvis forwards. We're not taking the chest down onto the knees. So nice and flat in the lower back. Find some tension in the hamstrings and breathe into that tension. After about 5 breaths, see how far, if any, you've come forwards. Coming out of that, counter pose. Just making sure that I haven't unplugged my microphone, which I don't think I have. So plant your hands just behind your hips, bend your knees. Knees are hip width apart. Inhale as you lift the hips up into a reverse table here. Drop the head back between the shoulders. Use your glutes to push the hips up forwards, pelvis up, and the lower back muscles, the spine erector, active here, driving the pelvis up. And come back down. Okay, from here, straighten out through the left leg. Ankle flexed, toes pointing up, bend the right knee, plant the sole of the right foot into the thigh. Okay, come forward to a straight leg forward bend, or one leg forward bend, one's bent. Take the hands forwards. Again, nice and flat in the lower back here. As you find this stretch in the hamstrings, or wherever you find tension, breathe into that space, but softly releasing any tightness in this right knee. And take a few breaths here. Thinking about the feelings in your body, trying to keep your mind on these sensations. If you find your mind wandering off elsewhere on a journey, then bring it back to each breath and the feelings, the sensations, what's active, where can I release tightness. Slowly coming out of that, we'll do a really nice counter pose wild thing. So take the right hand about a foot away from the right hip, plant it down, fingers quite wide. Push into the mat with that hand, straighten the arm out. Start then to lift the hips forwards, taking the left hand up. So you find this really nice body stretch through the left side of the body. And breathe in deeply into the lungs here. And slowly release. Okay, from there, we change over so the right leg goes long. Bend the left knee, sole of the left foot into the thigh. Ankle flex, toes pointed up. Straighten your body so you're actually pointing over that right leg. Come forwards with the lower back quite flat here. So pelvis rotating forwards, drop the hands down. You can use the hands as a bind to come longer forwards on this. But again, this is a coming forwards position rather than a going downwards. Find some tension in the hamstring or wherever it is in your body. Releasing tightness here. And breathe into that space. Being inquisitive about your body, checking one side against the other. Find out where your constraints are. And when you're ready, release out of that. Counter pose into wild things, taking that left hand down about a foot away from the hip, broad through the hand. Push into the mat with that straight left arm. Lift the hips up, forwards, driving the hips forwards, take that right hand up and really stretch out, counter pose here in this posture. And release. Okay. From a Dandasana seated staff pose, bend the left knee and rest the ankle on top of the thigh. Okay. This is going to be tricky for you then. Just sit this one out. But lean back, plant your hands down, start to lift the right knee up, come into a seated pigeon pose. So we're getting external hip rotation in this left hip. And then work with your range of movement here. So you can bring that right knee up and you can lean forwards into this posture till you find some tension in the left hip. Left rotators, left glute. Go to that point of tension and work with that tension with your breath. And release. Come back to staff pose. Try this side again. Might be different on one side to the other, so be very, very careful. Go with caution. Bend in that left knee and coming into that position of tension and working with the breath and actively releasing where you can. And release. Okay, coming down onto our backs. We're nearly there. So coming down onto your lumbar spine. We'll go for a rotation or a twist here. Take your head and shoulders down onto the mat. Arms out nice and wide. Bring the knees up into the chest. Big breath in here. As you exhale, rotate the hips to the right. Drop the knees to the right side of the body. Clamp them down with the right hand. Turn and look back at your left hand, your left shoulder. Soften through the shoulder, through the arm. Pull the core in. Breathe into the tops of the ribs. Take a few breaths here in this twist. release the hand, turn and look up, bring your knees all the way back in, bring the knees up into the chest, and then rotate all the way to the left this time. Let's take the knees down to the mat. And then clamping down with the left hand, turn and looking to your right as you find this twist. Breathing in through the tops of the lungs. And then releasing the knees, bring them back up into your chest one more time, turn and look up, another couple of squeezes of the knees. And we'll go straight into relaxation from here. So drop your feet down, take your feet to the bottom corners of the mat, rest the heels on the mat, let the feet flop to the side. So releasing in the hips, rest your head and shoulders onto the mat, take the arms away from the body, back to the hands on the mat, let the fingers release, tuck your chin in. Big breath into the lungs here, and as you breathe out, soften through your whole body. So finding that release of tension throughout the body. And then allow the breath to occur simply of its own accord. With your eyes closed or fixing your gaze on something above you. Release any tension in your jaw. Let the root of the tongue release. Soften the eyelids. Release any tension across your shoulders. And in particular, release any tension in your pelvic abdominal area, where we carry much of our tension. Being aware of your breath. And being aware where your mind is now. If it's distracted, if you're wandering off, that's okay. That allows you now to use your focus to guide your mind back into the breath. Each breath. It may be easier to count each breath from 1 to 5 and then repeat and start again. And carry on. Feeling a sense of grounding through the whole body. And following the breath. There is nothing else to do here. Taking the next few moments to scan around the body for anything that's still active, anything that's switched back on. Visiting those areas where you might carry your tension, your body armor. And releasing, letting go. Feeling the heaviness of your body. And with this release, noticing the rate and the depth of your breath.
And this inner peace and stillness. And you can take this feeling, this sensation, this calmness into your day. And now taking control of your breath, breathing deeper with each breath. Starting to raise your heart rate. Starting to move your body with your fingers and your toes at first. And then gently moving the wrists and the ankles. Gently moving the head from side to side. And whenever you're ready, make your way slowly up away from this practice to a seated position. Okay, thank you. Thank you for doing some yoga with me. I'll be back on the mat at some point. I'll put some more videos up on the YouTube channel. And if you're in or around Wokingham, come to one of my classes. It'd be lovely to see you. Stay safe. Thank you.